Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking about the ABC module, which allows you to use text in your video. So I've already loaded up a few videos here and some images on this channel. These are all things that come with the ZwoBot suite, and I've got a few effects going on in the player, and I've already loaded up and connected my ABC module. So the first thing you have to do is enter your text, which you can put into this box here. So I'm just going to type something in. So I've typed it in. It's not showing because before it'll show, you need to click this button here, which says go. You can't really see it because of the color, but if I click that, there we go. It's on here. Now we can see it's too big, so I can use this size dial to change that. And this size dial has beat control, so you can have it change the size of the text with the beat. It's also got audio reactive controls. I'm just going to put it like that for now. Under here we've got the color, so this obviously changes the color of the text, and again we have beat controls and sound reactivity controls for that. Here we've got our usual transparency and blend mode settings, which come with all ZwoBot modules. And we've got this T button, which stands for texture. So that allows you to, instead of having a solid color on the text, you can use it as a texture on top of the video that's behind it. Here we've got these output settings. So word means that the text is going to be displayed one word at a time. Letter means it'll be displayed one letter at a time, and all text, which is what it's currently on, will just show all the text that's in this box at once. So if I want to change it to display one word at a time, I select word. You can see it's not changed because every time you change the output, you need to then click go. And now it's just showing one word at a time. But if you want it to cycle through the words, so at the moment it'll just show the first word, you can control it manually by clicking the go button, and then every time you click it, it's going to go to the next word. Or I can apply a beat control to that, so now it's changing on beat. Or we can also apply sound reactivity to it, which will go to the next word in accordance to the incoming audio. I currently don't have any audio on this channel, so I'm just going to leave this on the beat control setting. Now if I change it to letter, you'll see it's now going to the next letter in time with the beat. And all text, if I click go, that just shows all the text again. Here we have a sort of sequencer. So you can have up to 8 different text entries here. So I've already entered in 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, just so we can keep track of where we are. And then I've left 5, 6, 7, and 8 blank. If I click cycle, that's going to automatically cycle through those. And down here you can control how many of these 8 text entries you want it to cycle through. So I've currently got it set to 4, but if I put it up to 8, it'll go through all 8 of them. But like I said, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are blank, so when it comes to those, it's just going to show nothing. So I'll put it back to 4, and then here you can control the speed of it. So it's currently quarter notes, but I can slow it down if I want, just on whole notes. And then down here, we can have up to 4 different cycles. So I have entered in 2.1, 2.2, etc., and I've done the same for 3 and 4. So now if I turn auto run on and then I click cycle on, it's going to cycle through all of those. However, I've noticed there is a bug. You'll notice when it goes to the first one of the next cycle, basically when it goes to the first one of the next cycle, it doesn't seem to update. So you'll notice it doesn't run through them properly. When it gets to, that should have been 2.1, this should be 3.1, this should be 4.1. It seems to go back to the previous first one. So it's a little bit buggy. And also these controls here will apply to all of the cycles. So I can't have, for example, cycle 4 set to 8 and cycle 1 set to 4. This is a master for all 4, so when you change 1, it changes it on all of them. Same with the beat control setting there. And this shadow button, that adds a shadow to your text. You can just turn that on or off. Over here, you can choose your font. So basic fonts, it'll just show some of the more basic fonts on your computer. But if you want to use another one, you can click on all fonts, and then you'll have every font you've got installed. So I like to use Termina Black, and there we go. These scroll, run, and rotate settings will have it automatically scroll, and then how far you push it up controls the speed, and having it go to the right side, it'll go up, moving it to the left, it'll scroll down. Run does the same, but left to right instead of up and down. So that's going to the right. If I move it this way, it's going to go to the left. And rotate will rotate the text. Now, one thing to be careful of with the rotate setting, unlike run and scroll, when you put it back to the middle, it doesn't automatically reset it. So now my text is stuck at this angle, and the only way to change it is to turn the rotate on and try and get it exactly back to the right angle, which is quite difficult to do. So that's just something to bear in mind, that you need to be careful if you're going to use this, that you're not going to want to get it back. So if you end up doing that and you can't get it back, I think you pretty much just have to delete the module and bring it back in, which I'm not going to do now, but it's just something to be aware of. Offset, you can change the position on the Y and X axes. So if I want it in the top right, I can move it over here. So say I just wanted in the bottom left to have a, like the title of the track, like a thing saying something like now playing. So I'd want to make it a lot smaller. Then I could do something like that. And then line length will control where the line break goes. So if I've got this, it's not fitting on the screen, so I can just bump up the line length until the text does fit on. I could put it on multiple lines if I wanted, and then I'd have to move it up, or I can put it on less lines and just make it a bit smaller. The smaller you make the text, the more the line length will also be adjusted. So this kind of works with the size. There we go, I could do something like that. If you click this plus button, you get some options to store the font. So what I can do, if I click this area where it says click to save current font, this font has now been saved in this slot, and let's say I want to use a different font for a different track. Let's just choose that. I can click in this second slot to save it, and now I can click these set buttons to change the font with a click, and I can easily switch between those. So if you want to use multiple different fonts in your set, that's just a quick way to switch between them. And that's everything related to the ABC module.